quick announcements that I'm really excited. I was asked to give an informational 15-20 minute spiel on giant angoras at the judges conference at the rabbit show coming up in April at Ridgefield, Washington. I've seen those before, and they have people that are experts in the field of a certain type of rabbit kind of give a rundown and little teaching opportunity to judges because they have 52 breeds. That's a lot to know. So I'm I said sure. And then I got to thinking, now what? What do I teach these people? Because I'm working on educating my fellow Giant Angora breeders, but this is judges. So my first instinct was like, hey, what do they want to know? And yeah. And then I went to a show when I was in Stevenson. Some of my favorite judges were there, so I picked their brains a little bit and told them what I'm going to do and what information should I share. And one guy, he told me, what do you want them to know? What do you want the judges to know? It's like mind blown. What? I'd never thought about it that way. So I'm reaching out to all of you. As I'm putting this together, I am, looking for your input as you're out there on the show tables with your giant angoras, specifically giants. That's what I'm focusing on here with this. What would you like the judges to know? Obviously, it's going to be geared towards the standard. We're not going to touch base on anything wool production, but I think there's a huge opportunity to talk about wool structure. Oh, hit my tail. I talk with my hands, can you tell? Yeah. So I'm hoping to even have, it was suggested if I had a couple of examples of something that had good texture and one that was bad. And boy, howdy, I have that in my barn. Whether I'll have it in 2 months. 2 months on an Angora is a long time, especially when they're already in a full coat. But if you're out there in the show world and you have input, please let me know. Matt Bishop did a video a couple years ago, and I'm so impressed with his stuff because not only are him and his wife, Ashley, they're both top giant Angora breeders, and they've both been doing it since they were youngsters. They dabbled with Ashley's family when they had the family farm mill, and they don't do it anymore. My heart is broke, but they put out the most beautiful yarn. And so he became a judge too. So he has all of that background and a judge. So when he put on that little spiel, and it's on YouTube, I'm studying that because that's just awesome. Yeah. So I'm Matt, if you're listening to this, I'm going to copy some of your stuff because you're good. It's really good. And if anybody else has any input, let me know. That's going to be coming up the second weekend in April in Ridgefield, Washington, hosted by the Wonderlist Rabbit Club. Yeah. So what I'm going to do today is more sorting. I have gotten so far behind. I have some English wool to sort that I got from Casey in California. And I have a ton of Betty stuff. You know, I was going to make some Betty Chu yarn. I still want to. I think I have enough. I'm sure I have enough. But I've been selling it on Etsy too. So I'm like, I have her Prime and some of my seconds, English seconds that we've been putting out there, and both have been selling. The Prime, of course, everybody wants Prime. I want Prime. I don't blame anybody for wanting Prime. So what I asked her to do is she has some really long show coats that are more than 5 inches. I told her, well, in future batches, if you can save that separately for me, and then anything from 3 to 5 can go in the same bag. We'll have colored and white. That's my plan anyway. So I'm going to start digging through some of Betty's stuff today with you, and we're just going to sort it. I have 2 tubs over here, one for prime white, one for prime colored, and one for seconds. And the seconds, of course, is anything from 3 to 5 or 1 to 3 inches. And any of those show coats that are more than 5, I'm going to bag up separately and sell that as ultra prime, because those are really, really nice for hand spinners. Those will be packaged separately. And I was up late last night working on some new yarn labels. I was going through my inventory for Sinfully soft yarn, and oh my gosh, there's a few that still need labels. And I got my new fancy dancy Epson printer, so it can even print on cardstock, so I'm excited. I have, for my chestnut light yarn, I need to do some skeins of that. And then we have 3 colorways of our Kiss with Silk that just came in last year. It's to die for. Somebody's trying to text me, but I can't see it when I'm videoing. So there's green, gold, and blue of that Kiss with Silk. So I was kind of testing stuff, and I got a new little shipping label machine. I've been eyeing it for, God, a year now. And I thought instead of printing out on a big sheet, I can just, they make it look so easy on the internet. But I bought one. I was finagling with things. I was up till 1 o'clock in the morning. Guys, I get tunnel vision, and I get to going on that computer, and it's like, oh, one more thing. So that's what I was doing late last night, making new yarn labels and barcodes. Bubba, you've probably heard me talk about Bubba. He's my AI assistant. We've been going back and forth, and how can I make a spreadsheet and create a barcode? And I'm a cheap butt, I'm not making boatloads of money. I can't afford this massive system to make barcodes and track things. So how can I do this for a small operator? So we went through a couple of revisions on, and I'm a Google gal, right? I like my Google Sheets because it's free. Free is good, and it does everything that I need. So he helped me create a code. I would never have come up with it by myself, but it took my SKU number and turned it into a barcode. And so I don't have a barcode reader yet. That's the other thing I need to buy. And then I want to make sure that it connects to Square. And yeah. So I was doing some of that last night. Fun stuff, but and before I dive into the yarn, I just want to go over just real quick my Sinfully Soft Wool Supplier program. When I first went live a couple weeks ago, we talked about it, and it was on one of the videos that I couldn't save, or I didn't save. I think I hit delete. You don't, yeah, I was supposed to do that. So I'm going to try to get this on here again. What I'm intending to do is revamping. I already have the information here, how to become a Sinfully Soft supplier. Because Karen and I, when we, the birth of Sinfully Soft, we knew that our aspirations was going to be bigger than we could produce here at home with just our rabbits. We produce a lot, but not enough that what we really want to do. And there's so many people out there that don't do anything with their wool. So if you want to become a Sinfully Soft wool supplier, I'll teach you how and what our standards are. And then I was talking to a male person at one of the fiber festivals. She was right across the aisle from me. Sweetest sweet as pie. But she's, oh, Angora, I'm never going to do Angora again. I wreaked havoc with her machines. Well, as we were talking, and she showed me some pictures, I believe, of course, it's hard to tell without hands on, right? And she said it took like 4 days just to clean her equipment. And looking at stuff, I think it was infested with mites because there's big flakes in it. And yeah. So I think that's just an educational thing. People wouldn't do that if they knew. And back when I first started accepting other people's wool, I was really amazed. 3 out of 4 submissions within a 6-month period were mite infested. And it's like, I can't do anything with that. I don't want to mix it with my wool. It was an educational thing. So I am going to teach again at OFF. I'm going to develop an in-person how to sort your wool, how to prepare it for a mail run. And if you want to make your own yarn, you can do that. And if you want, it's already sorted, it's all beautiful, you know what you're doing, you can become a Sinfully Soft wool supplier, and we'll pay you a good price for your raw wool. Yeah. And I want to turn it into a certificate program. So if you send me a couple of submissions, then you go through the course and then you get a certificate. It's all in my head. It's not written down yet, but it's coming. I think it's going to be cool. Because the one gal that mill owner I was telling you about, she goes, after talking to you, I will reconsider doing Angora. In fact, I'll do yours. And if you have this training program, and if another Angora breeder has your certificate of training that they passed your wool sorting course, whatever we're going to call it, I'll do theirs too. So she's looking for validation and education from the fellow Angora people. And I know fellow Angora people are hungry for it. They have no idea. Some of them just do it for show. Some people like me are crazy. We do it for show and for fiber yarn production and hand spinning, or any combination of all of those. So I think this course will help everybody. I think it's cool. So anyway, for my criteria is pretty high, more than most. And what I'm calling prime is anything from 3 to 5 inches. 1 to 3 inches is seconds, and anything under 1 inch is thirds. Second cuts are thirds. On the hindy end around the tail area, you might have stuff that's long, but it's pea stained. That is still seconds. That does not go in your prime. What I do with that stained stuff or urine stuff, and it's really nice, it might even be slightly webbed, I put that in another pile for my dye pot. And as I'm doing all this major sorting, I'm putting all my colors that are stained in my dye pot bucket. So I'm going to have a bunch of Angora to dye up here pretty soon. It's like, holy cow. And even if it's slightly webbed, because that's going to be for my hand spinning and it'll be carded later. So it's going to be awesome. So 3 to 5 inches for prime. And we have a very competitive pay rate, and I don't have it in front of me. Silly. But anyway, we pay by the grams. 100 grams is about 3.5 ounces, I think. And right now I am separating the fiber into 5 color groups. White, of course, is white. Then we have fawn, which can be mixed with your torts, your tans, reds, and so forth, and chocolates. Gray is your black, chinchilla, or blue. Those all go together. And the chestnuts, right now, of course, I'm the queen of chestnuts, right? I have a lot of chestnut. That's all by itself because I think chestnuts are special. Eventually, I could blend those with my gray, and to be honest, I think I have in the past because I might have only had maybe a pound of black, and it wasn't enough to do a mill run by itself, so I just poured it in with my chestnut. Yeah. And then you'll send your stuff to me and I'll go through it. And of course, we have our gold and silver status. Gold is where you've proven yourself and it's really high quality time and time again. So you're going to be paid at a little higher rate than silver status. But once you prove yourself and gone through the training and whatnot, there won't be a problem. I've had one gal that's been a gold from day one. Actually, it's German Angoras, very soft, very lovely, immaculate wool, no webbing, no vegetable matter, no nothing. It's just beautiful. So I need to reach out to her again and see if she's got some more stockpiled. I love her wool. That is pretty cool. So anyway, look for that. That's going to be one of my next projects. I think that'll have to be in front of my yarn pricing. Bubbin and I were up late for months working out how to price your handspun. You wouldn't think that'd be that difficult. And I do tend to make things more difficult than it needs to be, probably. That's my husband. He says yes, I do. But yeah, I think I finally found a price structure that makes sense. The one common price structure I see, and I've been told over the years, is so much like anything from 40 cents to 50 cents per yard. And most people do a 2-ply. Some people do a 3-ply. And God, don't talk about the art yarn because there's a plethora of all kinds of different scenarios. Do you chain ply? Do you do a 3-ply? And my personal favorite is my beautiful handspun, where it's willy-nilly and I utilize all my seconds. And then I wash it so it's pre-shrunk and it turns out beautiful. And it's a great way to use my slightly webby, otherwise ugly stuff, and it turns into gorgeous yarn. Yeah. But there's a 3-step process, and one is getting to know your own spinning. How much can you spin in an hour? What's your sweet spot? And we all have that. We try to expand our horizons and go anywhere from lace weight to bulky, but there's somewhere in between once you get into hand spinning that you just find that it just feels good and it's natural for you. And your spinning machine, whether you're drop spindling or your spinning machine, will have a sweet spot. And the two of you in a happy marriage, that's what you want. So once you figure that out, that's step number one. That's probably the most time consuming. Figure out what your average yardage is for about an hour. And then the rest is pretty easy. There's different kinds of yarn that you can make, like my beautiful and lace weight, DK, worsted. And then if you blend anything, I think the thing that was frustrating me was the basic per yard really didn't take into account the high cost of Angora wool. Because if you have merino, which is really nice, but it doesn't cost near as much of the Angora. So how do you account for that if you do any blending? Or maybe it's 100% Angora. And a lot of us Angora people do that because we have a lot of it, right? Yeah. So how can we supplement our higher costs of our material and pay ourselves for our time? We don't want to give it away for free. It is a hobby. But if you want to sell it, you want to be competitive and fair to yourself, your customers, and your rabbits. Yeah. So I've been rambling. God, it's been almost a half an hour, you guys. I'm going to turn this up and we're going to get to starting. Oh, I have some beautiful tort. We're going to check it out. I don't think I have a tape measure right here handy. Wouldn't that be just silly of me not to have that? That's a staple. Oh, I have it. Nope, I don't. That looked like a tape measure. I was. Oh, well, this is not what I was anticipating using, but you know, it'll work. It's going to have to work. I'm going to make it work. You guys are probably laughing at me. This is why lives make me nervous because I never know what I'm doing. Well, I have some English tort. 4 ounces, it says here. I'm not seeing any comments, so I'm just going to just get on doing it. So I have a name of her rabbit, Joanne. Oh, it looks beautiful. Everything that I've gotten from Betty is just gorgeous. So as long as this is between 3 and 5 inches, I'm going to put it in my tub of colored. Yep. That bowl is in your way, isn't it? That's 3 inches. This looks 3 inches. There is no second cuts in here. See, and it's free flowing. Oh my gosh. How's my tub? I'm going to put that in there for now. That's all prime. Oh my gosh. Betty. Betty, Betty. Have I told you how much I love you, Betty? She had a bunch of this stuff in her garage and asked me and another gal if we'd be interested in buying in bulk. And I said, yeah. So we both like, let's do it. So she sorted everything and mailed it to me. Some of this stuff might be a little shorter, but I think it's still 3 inches. Yep. Oh, it's well over 3 inches. Now, I've done enough of Betty's stuff that, to be honest, I don't think I would really need to be going through this. She's like obviously gold status, right? Yeah. It's all, some of it is compressed, but it's not webby. It's not felted. And there is no hay, no toenails, nothing in here but beautiful, beautiful wool. So this stuff might be someday Betty Chu English yarn. I found a mill back east. She said, oh yeah, she's done English before. For some reason, I don't know if this was a myth. And there's a lot of those out there, you guys, that you cannot make yarn out of English Angora. Seeing this little piece almost look like a second cut, but it's not. And when I pull on that, it doesn't have a snap like you would pull on wool. But it's strong and soft. I think that was part of that myth that English is too fine. It can't be handspun. Oh, this is all from Joanne. And I don't know Betty's rabbits by name. She has a blog. I should put a link to her blog in this video. So if you guys ever want to check it out. She's been showing English Angoras for 40 years. She is a walking encyclopedia. This stuff is a little darker, so I'm going to think it might have come off the dewlap, but it's still not felted. See, there is no resistance. At first look, you might think because it's compacted that it's felted. It is not. It's just gorgeous. It's all the same length. So this is going to go into my prime bucket. I'm getting a little sloppy here, but you know, this is, if it was anybody else's wool, I'd be going through each one. Even mine, I go through mine a little more carefully than I do this stuff. This is just gorgeous. It's strong and it's soft. And English Angora. See, that's guard hair. You can't see me, but I'm rubbing just the guard hair against my chin. There is no itch factor whatsoever. In fact, it's hard to distinguish the guard hair from the other fiber. That's not dark enough. I need a black piece of paper. I might do that someday and while I look at the fiber. Because she has on fluff, and which is crimpy. And then some stuff that's a little bit longer is more or less the guard hair. And it's straight. In the French and Giants, and I don't know about satins, you guys, because I don't have those. But I know on my Giants and French, the guard hairs sometimes, especially on the older rabbits. Okay. Let me make sure I get it in the right bucket. I have a whole tub. I have 3 of them over here sitting beside me. One that's marked English colored prime, one that's marked English white prime, and one for English seconds. Oh, this is white. I might put white aside for a minute. Because I'm going to want to clean my table. I'm going to put the white bag in the white tub. So I know that I have to sort those. Right. Because what I'm going to want to do is clean my table off completely so it won't get any residue of colored stuff. Yeah. So we'll just keep doing colored for right now. This is Chocolate Tort from Ashton. Ashton is the name of the rabbit. Isn't that lovely? Oops. Get out of there. I can't leave any of that behind. I want all of that. So all these bags that I come up with, I have a tote that's nothing but plastic bags. Okay, I need my little tape measure back out here. At one of the shows I went to for the awards was these wooden little measuring tapes, measuring things. And I need to get in the habit of just leaving it here. I grabbed it to measure some wool on a rabbit. And yeah. Okay, so some of this, okay, is it? Let's look at this. Some of this is slightly, very so slightly webby. But I don't want that in my yarn. So, come here, tub. That's too far away. I'm going to do a switcheroo. The white tub is going to go back there, and my seconds. And it's not stained. There's really nothing wrong with it. If I was hand spinning it, it would card up very easily. But there's just a little bit of resistance in here. So I don't want that in my yarn run. Oh, I'm jiggling the camera. Sorry, guys. I just noticed that ever so slightly. So that'll go into my handspun. Handspun. This is free flowing, so that's prime. And see, there's just a little bit of resistance here. So I'm going to put that in my seconds. Resistance. This is just a little heavier felting. This is beautiful yarn, but not mill spun. This is free flowing, and I don't see any second cuts or anything, so that's prime. Oh, look at this. Yeah, that's prime. Prime. And if I was to measure this again, let's take a lock. Shall we find a lock? And okay. Find the cut end is right there. Yeah, it's right at about 3.5 inches. So the only thing I really need to watch in here is if it's just compacted, that's fine. But if it's slightly webby or matted, that needs to go in my other pile. This is slightly webby. I'm hoping that I have some show coats. I think she was keeping those separate. So after we get through all of this, we'll see how many show coats. I'll have to label them separate somehow so we know that that's ultra prime. And I have to hook up with her again, see if She has more for sale. Maybe I'll get another bulk at West Coast Classic. Maybe. Betty? Yeah. So if you have English Angora and you want to sell me some of your Prime, I'll buy it from you. Yeah, your Prime, I don't have a market really for seconds. I was thinking I might have that down the road, but realistically, I have so much seconds with the Angoras I produce that I don't have an outlet right now. Not enough to justify buying other people's seconds. Betty's is special though. I'll buy her seconds. Because you saw what some of that looks like. It's like, oh my gosh, no. That's beautiful. There's just a little bit of stained pieced up here. So that's going to go in my dye pot. And realistically, I'd have to talk to the mill owners, but from what I understand, you mill people, let me know if I'm just crazy. But I think they wash even Angora before they put it in their machines. Yeah, free flowing, beautiful stuff. Oh my goodness. Out of all that, I have some second cuts. That's not very much at all. I have a hard time that's not really webby. Free flowing. Yeah, since they've been in bags, they kind of get compacted. And if there's any moisture in the air while you're bagging up, it gets trapped in your baggies. And if there's temperature changes, hot to cold, that compacted wool will felt in your bags. It will. There's a special kind of tissue paper that I found, and I have zero proof, you guys, but it's slightly webby. But this tissue paper is what the museums use to protect their documents and ancient relics and whatnot. So instead of buying this cheap tissue paper at the grocery store or online, that felted or just compact. I am using the more expensive tissue paper. And even if I bag up my wool by the ounce, I'm going to start cutting that tissue paper to line one side of the bag so it can help absorb any of that tissue or any of that moisture. Time will tell, and it's not that hugely expensive. And I think just the little extra things that we do to protect our luxury fibers, and Angora is the ultimate luxury fiber, you guys. It deserves to be pampered and treated very, very well. Your rabbits worked hard to produce this. Oh, isn't this lovely? Oh my gosh, Betty. How many ways can I say I love you? I love this fiber. So I'll find that link. Should I write that down? I should be writing that down. Because I know I want to include that in my course. Because I used to buy that cheap tissue paper, and if I get yarn orders, I'd wrap the yarn in it, put it in a bag, ship it off. All my wool would be just stored in Ziploc bags. And I had an issue with felted fiber because in my she shed, it's not temperature controlled. I turn on the heater or the air conditioner depending on the season before I get to work. Like today, it's not that cold, but it rained last night, so it's a little chilly outside. So I have some oil heaters in here. And it just took the chill off, and with my sweatshirt, I'm comfy. Of course, at 9 o'clock, I was rushing around getting my coffee. Did I grab this? Did I grab that? Is my iPad charged? Is my phone charged up? All these silly things. Oh, Betty, this is beautiful. Yep. Okay. I'm going to double check I put it in the right box. Some of it tried to spill outside the box. Come back here because we want every little bit going in the right place. Yep. Okay. We got fawn. Let's see. What do we got here? Sounds like a delivery driver just dropped some stuff off. He didn't knock on the door, so. Prime. There's my tape measure if I need to measure any of it. Here's just a little bit of dirty spot. I'm going to do here's some short pieces. So that will go over here. Short pieces. Are those short? Or are those just folded? I think it's short. It's as we trim our dewlaps, it's hard to get nice long pieces. Okay, that's long enough. It can go in my seconds pile. This is long enough, long enough. Yep. Beautiful. Yeah, so I think I'm excited. We'll get this course rocking and rolling, and then I'll be ready to teach it in person. I gotta submit, I think the 8th is the deadline to submit my proposal to off. So cross your fingers. I ran into another lovely lady at the fiber event last weekend at Pearlside. Miss Molly, she raises not giants, but German Angoras. And I think she said she just bought a satin. So she asked me about teaching. So I encouraged her, and if there's any of you out there too that want to teach, off is looking for teachers. There's such a deficit for good educational opportunities to learn in Angoras. Because let's face it, Angoras are pretty small as far as in the rabbit world. And they're very intimidating because there's people look at me carrying my Angoras across the showroom and like, oh, that's too much work. Well, it is. It is. But when you couple that with the fiber crafting stuff that we can do with it, on top of the shows, it's definitely worth it to me. It's my happy spot. Some of this is a little shorter, so let's take a little stop here. I'll take the cut end. Oh yeah, see? Those are 3 inches. Just slightly dirty. I'm going to put that for my dye pot. Some of this stuff is kind of folded on itself, but I'm just going to take a little check. Oh yeah, that's 3 inches. This is going to make beautiful yarn. Beautiful. I can't wait to send it off to the mill. Some of this is like this piece is folded, but I can tell by looking at it that it's under 3 inches. Yeah, so that most of that looks pretty good. Holy cannoli. It's almost 11 o'clock. Seeing you guys help me go through almost 3 bags already. I only have 100 to go. No, I'm kidding. Not quite 100. Isn't this beautiful? So what I'm going to do is finish up this bag. What is my goal for today? What do I need to do? When I look in the rabbit barn, there is so much to do. I entered into a show for Pendleton this coming weekend. Unfortunately, my little English Alexander, he needs a haircut, so I need to do that today because he's horribly uncomfortable. I need to take some pictures and finish updating my website, my open herd, because there's a few Frenchies. I call them Frenchie. They're quarter French. that I might sell. There's 3 that I have. I think 3 I have listed for sale right now. I'll have to double check. And this is slightly webby. Seconds. That was just, this is, it's compacted, so it's, yeah, seconds. Beautiful. Gosh, it's gorgeous. Gorgeous wool. So I think I need to do some shearing and spend some quality time out there. Because I know the husband has a doctor's appointment tomorrow, so we'll be on the road tomorrow, going to town. And where we live, going to town is usually an all-day affair. When you have a doctor's appointment, that's when you do some your shopping and you'll fuel the car up before you go home. I usually try to have the dinner. We usually have dinner over there. So it's kind of like a date night too, all wrapped up in one. And when I do that, I don't usually have time or the energy to go back out to the rabbit barn and do any serious shearing and rabbit maintenance stuff. This stuff is just gorgeous. Oh my God. There was so very little webbing in there. This is just gorgeous. This is all just compacted, but there is no resistance when I pull it apart. Absolutely none. Oh, 3 bags down, you guys. This is pretty cool. My tub is almost full already. As I'm going through here. Do I have another? I have so much of this stuff to do, you guys. Are you bored yet? It's not as fun, as exciting as looking at baby bunnies, that's for sure. This is Tort. Oh, and it looks like Prime. It's just gorgeous. Just absolutely gorgeous. It's not going to take much time at all to go through Betty's stuff. Yeah. I do need to package some of it. Or do I? I don't know. I don't know. I should package up some of it for my Etsy because I'm running low. That's another thing for my to-do. After I do some shearing, I need to do my inventory on my raw wool that I have listed on Etsy. And then before I throw everything of Betty's into my yarn pool, future yarn pool, maybe I need to take a few of these bags and bag them up separately. I don't know. Some of this is a little shorter. Seconds. Oh, my tape measure. I need to get out that wooden tape measure. Because this kind of sucks. That little stopper on that tape measure doesn't work. cut end. Oh, it's 3 inches. Yep, that's right at 3 inches. All righty, you guys. A friend that was in here, and he says he thought he was watching the live, and it was actually one of the older videos. Yeah, there's just a little bit of pea stains on there and not bad. I'm going to finish up sorting Betty's wool on this bag here. I said I was going to finish on that last one too, didn't I? I grabbed. This is where I need to put some music on the background or one of my books on tape or Netflix. There is just nothing, absolutely nothing wrong with this fiber. It's just hands down gorgeous. Yep. So I hope you guys have a great week. I probably won't go live again until Monday. Of next week, because I have to leave for a show Friday afternoon to Pendleton. Slightly webby seconds. Oop, get back here. So I think what I did last week was just Monday and Wednesday for lives. I think I'm sliding into my sweet spot for my videos. I missed all the comments. I know I just been head down in my wool. Sorry. Polly, you're Anthony Lee. Yeah, my sweet spot, I think, for my thing is 10 o'clock just works really well. I can get my coffee done, get a plan on what I want to share with you guys, and just get her done. So that is helping me be more productive with what I need to do here. Doing 2 things at once, basically. Making a dent in my fiber sorting, shearing. Oh, gosh. Yarn labeling, all that fun stuff. Yeah. And I'm also going to be posting a few more videos on some animals that I might have for sale or just a little introduction, like Buttercream. I'm going to call her a French Angora. She's not really a Frenchie. She's a hybrid. She's part giant. And she's so bright. I decided to keep her because she's like 10.5 pounds. At 7 months. She's going to be too big for a Frenchie, although she has everything going for her. She looks like a French. The clean ears, the feet, even her wool structure looks just right on the money. I want to introduce her to another giant boy. Yeah. And there's a few others that I might do that in that litter if I don't sell them. They're nice enough. I consider selling them. But I don't really need them. So I'm going to try to get those pictures out and little videos of them onto my website. Maybe I can get that done today. I think I can do that. And then I'm going to be sharing, and I might post little snippets of Alexander getting sheared. His wool is just horrible this time around, and it's not his fault. He normally has free-flowing, gorgeous wool. He even got a best in show once. Yeah. So I was hoping he might do well again, but I ignored him too long. And you can't do that. It was only for a month and a half or so when things got crazy on the home front, and you just can't do that. So I'm going to shear him, and he'll take a few months off, and then he'll hit the show circuit again just to show his pretty face. And then I have some other giants to shear, and I'm going to try to get Betty's wool ready to ship off to make some Betty yarn. What do you think? Should we make some Betty yarn? I think we should. All right, you guys. It's after 11. I'm going to go for now. I'll see you next week, same time, 10 o'clock, Monday and Wednesday. That's my new plan A. Talk to you later.